Hear the music.
I'ma just island boy. I'ma just island boy. I'ma get cute white boy. You gonna keep that gun. I'ma just island boy. I'ma just island boy. I'ma get cute white boy. You gonna keep that gun. I'ma just island boy. I'ma just island boy. I'ma get cute white boy. You gonna keep that gun. I'ma just island boy. I'ma just island boy. I'ma get cute white boy. You gonna keep that gun. I'ma just island boy. I'ma just island boy. I'ma get cute white boy. You gonna keep that gun. I'ma just island boy. I'ma just island boy. I'ma get cute white boy. You gonna keep that gun. I'ma just island boy. Island boy. I'ma just island boy. Island boy. I'ma just island boy.
And it looks like we are live. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the morning show at Mine Your Biz. We call it the Mining Market Signal, call it the Mine Your Biz live show. Whatever you want to call it, go ahead and make sure you hit that subscribe button, make it explode, and then click the bell icon so you're notified when new media like this comes out. Let's jump straight into the crypto markets of today and begin with the Fear and Greed Index, currently a score of 72 and down from yesterday's 74. What's going on? Why the sort of fluctuation in people's sentiment of bullishness, bearishness? What's going on there? Well, I think we may have a couple of potential explanations for that. And I think that today's news cycle and the weekend news cycle may give us even better context for why we're experiencing these kinds of emotions, right? These are not rational markets, first off and foremost. These are not things that people do because they look at all the fundamentals and they line up all the technical analyses and they figure out, okay, well, zoom out the macro markets, like what's going on over in real estate? Is inflation really happening? Is the cost of a gallon of milk actually higher right now? So, yeah, people aren't really doing that. Let's take a look at what they are paying attention to. First off, let me shout out a couple of the homies in the chat. Got Greg Moravec, who says, good morning. Always great to see you, Greg. Good Guy Biker, good old friend from the Clubhouse days talking about Bitcoin. So glad you're here, Alex. Appreciate you tuning in. Love any feedback you can give to us in the chat. Obviously, trolling counts too. It's a dual purpose chat box, right? It's for feedback and a troll box as well. But he says, Taproot, she said, barely know her. Awesome. So we got Kestrel giving us some shrug emojis as well as the Greek rocket symbols. Love that. Thank you for being with us. Justin Levada's in the house as well as T. So thanks for those chats, guys. Keep them coming. And if you have not already shared this video, it would be a great time to do so. Love having new people, new faces in the live stream. Guys, when I put your chat on screen, be aware that what I would love to see from you is that you are asking good questions and that you're answering good questions. Half the reason we do these live streams is because they're meant to be sort of an ongoing cohort of live education. So asking good questions, asking better questions, learning just a little bit more about some of these different sides of cryptocurrencies and of blockchain technology, but especially today, Bitcoin, right? The King Daddy, the thing that kicked it all off, the UTXO system that all others are based on. So many code bases have tried to copy what Bitcoin has done. There's a reason it's still the leader. There's a reason it's still the king. There's a reason that I'm perfectly comfortable wearing it in my logo every single day and proudly representing it everywhere I go. So we're going to talk a little bit about that most recent update. And yeah, I would love for you to be able to ask better questions when you're in public and when your friends and family ask you about cryptocurrencies and say, what's the deal with this Bitcoin thing? Can you explain some of this to me simply? Why would I care? Well, we're going to learn all those various different sides that help you over time to be able to answer those questions succinctly and help your friends and family figure out why they might be interested too. Anyway, that's a long preamble. Just to say, ask great questions. I'm counting on you. You guys always do. Chat's out of control, so thanks for being here. Right now, we see that Fear and Greed Index of 72. Scrolling on down, we see this is a trend that's been holding quite some time now. We've gone over a month at this point where we definitely live in a state of greed, or the markets are living in a state of greed. We saw there was a little bit of a pop upward, in part because of some of the DeFi news. And consider also, we call the Crypto Fear and Greed Index, it's called the Crypto Fear and Greed Index. Many people will reframe it as the Bitcoin Fear and Greed Index, but the way that this data is aggregated and interpreted is by checking out Reddit and Twitter. Why? Because they're very easy to crawl. They're very easy to scrape data from. They're very easy to be able to index that data and then flip it into meaningful tables or meaningful interpretations. So this is meant to be a zoomed out full market view of all cryptocurrencies. But again, as mentioned before, the leader of that entire category is obviously Bitcoin. So just to be aware, that's kind of where this data comes from. That's kind of how this interpretation is made. But we see that, so sometimes DeFi news will create a bit of FOMO and a little bit more of that greed in the markets, and then occasionally there will be Bitcoin news. Today, it's big time Bitcoin news. Let's head over to forecast.news. Great little outlet that is kind of a 360-degree view of the crypto markets, and they give a great breakdown of why Taproot matters. But it's the first major upgrade to the protocol in about 4 years, right? So we've been waiting for additional technologies to make their way into the Bitcoin core code base. It's a very slow moving code base for a reason. Bitcoin is designed to do just one thing and one thing really well, right? That's sort of the Unix philosophy, right? Do one thing, do it really well, make changes slowly. I can appreciate that, right? If I'm running some kind of a special service on a virtual private server somewhere, or if I want email to run, for example, maybe a bad example, or a communication server to run, I want it to be as stable as possible with zero downtime for as long as possible. So yeah, if you guys are reading ahead in some of the notes, then obviously, don't spoil it for the rest of the kids at home. We've got a couple of really great pieces here that if you're not familiar with why TapScript matters or why Taproot matters, well, that's part of it right there, TapScript. But let's take a look at this article. It breaks it down very, very simply, because I love that mentality of doing one thing, do it really simply or really reliably. And that's what Bitcoin is continuing to do, right? Notwithstanding hidden inflation bugs that were exploited in 2018, right? That wasn't that long ago either. It was after the last major upgrade. However, Bitcoin recovers much faster than other networks, and we don't have those kinds of major exploits where millions of dollars of value are somehow inherently hacked off the network. Sometimes they're hacked off of centralized exchanges. It's a very, very different attack vector. So let's take a look at this, guys. The first upgrade in 4 years, the Taproot update. If you are on crypto Twitter, if you're on Bitcoin Twitter, and you see a bunch of people who have little green box next to their profile, their avatar name, or whatever else, their nickname on Twitter or on Clubhouse or on any other social media sites, if you've seen that in the last few months, what they're doing is they are signaling their support for the Taproot update. Well, here we are. It's been updated. It's live now. But here's kind of the biggest thing. It changes a couple of things, right? The first major thing is that there is an update to the signatures. It was previously elliptical curve digital signature algorithm, which was used. So ECDSA, if you've ever seen that acronym anywhere else, that's elliptic curve digital signatures, and it's being replaced by the Schnorr signature scheme. Apparently, it's more sophisticated, lightweight, and flexible. This is supposed to help transactional throughput, not in terms of TPS, transactions per second, but help things just run more smoothly, right? Lower friction because it's lighter weight. And that may help with scaling in the future. It may also help with a bit of the privacy as well. But let's take a look. Let's see. So the second part of it is TapScript, as it says. There you go. But let's go through their full breakdown. It's a very well-written breakdown, guys. That's why, as per usual, all of these sources are in the description of this video. I want to go over some of their highlights because it makes sense. There are a lot of people who are wondering what this is all about. But it says the Schnorr signature scheme makes smart contract transactions appear like every other Bitcoin transaction on the blockchain. Why would that matter? Well, that would especially matter for things like native Bitcoin to Monero atomic swaps. That'd be a pretty big deal. Executing a smart contract transaction where you're able to fully mix your Bitcoin by doing an atomic swap, a permissionless atomic swap onto Monero, and then back again. Now it's going to look a lot more like any other transaction. The same should be true of Lightning Network on-ramping and off-ramping with Bitcoin. So any number of different transactions that would normally indicate that you've interacted with a smart contract will now just look like any old transaction. So it is very useful in that way. Of course, the same should be true of doing any kind of Chaumian coin join. If you use the Samurai wallet, which we've talked about very favorably on this show many, many times, then your transactions will look like any other transaction. They already do a pretty good job of that, but the Taproot upgrade is only going to improve that level of anonymity that's derived by mixing. If you want to do that, if you want to maintain the fungibility of your Bitcoin and not accidentally end up receiving a tainted Bitcoin. So there's that as well. But pretty big deal. So greater privacy, not for peer-to-peer simple transactions, but for complex transactions involving multiple signatures. Second part of the update is the adoption of TapScript, new programming language. According to Miller, TapScript is far more programmable than the previous language used to add Bitcoin transactions on the blockchain. So should increase smart contract functionality and allow for smoother upgrades in the future. Now, again, these are future-looking statements. They say it should do so. It should help. Now we have to just see who arrives, who presents to build something with TapScript, who adopts it, and how quickly developers say, like, yeah, this makes sense for what I'm already doing for my layer one interactions with the Bitcoin blockchain, and I want to make more smart contracts. That makes sense for me. So, yeah, that's yeah, wow. We've got Good Guy Biker as a chatterbox this morning. Good to see you in the chat, man. But yeah, so TapScript should be able to assist with that. Is it a direct threat to programming languages like Solidity? Only time will tell. Only time. That's the only way we will possibly know. TVL across all other possible interpretations of DeFi networks. People who say that only Bitcoin is DeFi or that Bitcoin is all that's needed for DeFi haven't really paid attention to how much is actually happening with the hashtag DeFi or what's happening in traditional markets as they lock into DeFi. So without putting these two at odds, I'm happy to see building in this direction. If Taproot actually does help developers decide that they want to start building out more of the DeFi infrastructure that is currently available on all EVM style chains, or even the alternative smart contract platforms like Polkadot and Solana, I'm all for it. I want to see things grow. I want to see decentralization become increasingly important in this space. Otherwise, it's not really DeFi, right? So we'll see what happens. We'll see what developers vote to do with their time and their effort. But TapScript should assist significantly. So Tony Sycamore said the Taproot upgrade enables greater transaction privacy along with efficiency. And essentially what we're going to start to see is it is going to allow smart contracts on the Bitcoin platform now. Again, I sincerely hope this is true. There are some Bitcoin advocates who claim that that Rootstock or RSK, that Stacks protocol, which we've already seen an implementation of with City Coins, the most visible project being Miami Coin, have already done on top of Bitcoin. However, some of the ethos of the Bitcoin maximalist tribe doesn't really allow for this to be brought out to its logical conclusion. Smart contracts clearly need to pass an ideological purity test before they're allowed to succeed, air quotes, by the Bitcoin community. It's a bit of a difficult proposition to see smart contracts built on top of Bitcoin. So we'll see what happens with the Taproot upgrade and TapScript. We'll see what people actually decide to build and whether or not it's accepted or acceptable, air quotes, by the Bitcoin community. That's really the biggest hurdle, not so much the technology. We've had the technology for many, many years, which is why we have wrapped Bitcoin on EVM chains in much larger amounts than we even have Bitcoin that's been on-ramped onto Lightning Network. So hopefully, fingers crossed, this changes the minds of developers who have seen other ways of putting Bitcoin into smart contracts, and hopefully this gets them to think about just keeping it native on layer one of Bitcoin for settlement and then dealing with smart contracts in a different way. But only time will tell. They say developers can now start developing applications on Bitcoin. Businesses can start developing platforms on Bitcoin. It's really been Ethereum that has dominated this space, but it's a very big improvement for the Bitcoin network, he said. The third and most important part of the Taproot upgrade brings about significant improvements in the structure of Bitcoin transactions. The update lowers the data size of smart contracts, i.e. the amount of data required to record smart contract transactions on the blockchain. This, in turn, reduces the cost of transactions and boosts scalability. So again, as mentioned before, the transactional throughput of Bitcoin, no, we're not going to see Bitcoin go past roughly 7 transactions per second in the near future. That's not what is happening here, but scaling may happen in a different way because of these smart contracts and the decreased size of working with complex smart contracts. Bullish, in my opinion, very, very bullish, but we do need somebody to show up and do the work of building something. It says, when it comes to smart contracts, Ethereum is a clear winner. I can't disagree in any meaningful way. Miller also says, I think Bitcoin's core purpose will not change in the short run. However, the capacity to use Bitcoin for more complex computational transactions or more DeFi style implementations will be something that would be very important to watch over the coming years. And I think that is my take on the matter as well. I think this is not going to be a 2021 bull run story for Bitcoin. This just happens to be the time that this was included. As mentioned before we started talking about Taproot, I think that Bitcoin is a lot like the Unix of cryptocurrencies. People talk about it as though it's the MySpace of crypto. What happens when the Facebook shows up? Please don't use that analogy anymore. Because first off, Facebook is a totally evil company, and MySpace, had they survived much longer, would have turned evil, right? They would have broken evil, broken bad. So I don't know that I want any cryptocurrency to be compared to either MySpace or Facebook, right? I think it's a very, very wrong-headed approach. I do think that Bitcoin is the closest parallel that we have to something like BSD or Unix. It's something that is meant to be a core protocol and a pattern for future building. And it basically, and the substrate upon which other stuff is built. It is meant to be a settlement layer. It is meant to be a store of value, and it is the best at doing those things to date. It includes proof of work, and it includes mining. It's something that on this channel, we've always spoken favorably about. And for me personally, I view tremendous value in what Bitcoin offers the world, both in terms of value, but also in terms of development, right? Being able to build on something that is a very sound and solid foundation. So I love seeing this new update come out. Do you feel like you learned a little bit more about Taproot in that last little segment? What questions do you have about Taproot? Do you want me to do a dedicated video just on some of these points where we try to engage a little bit more with some of the fundamentals of this upgrade? I'd love to hear your thoughts on that. Let me know in the chat, guys. Y'all are out of control, so I know you will let me know what you're thinking about right now. Appreciate you also hitting that like button. If you're lurking, please do hit that subscribe as well. It helps us out a tremendous amount for discoverability on YouTube. It lets YouTube's algorithm know that this content is something that you find valuable and that you think other people might like as well. Moving on in our daily news cycle, guys. Let's take a look at AMB Crypto. They say, does DEXs just make a strong comeback in their battle with centralized exchanges? I'm just gonna say, yeah. Yeah, I think we've been covering this for a while. I think we've been advocating the use of decentralized exchanges for a while. Much more difficult with UTXO-based coins like Bitcoin. Much, much more difficult to lock up Bitcoin into a smart contract the way that some of these other EVM-style chains have been in the past. Hopefully, the Taproot upgrade makes this different. Hopefully, very, very soon, we see fully decentralized implementations of wrapped Bitcoin, fully decentralized stablecoin pegs that allow you to put in Bitcoin as collateral, if that's something that you choose to do, so that you're not handing over your Bitcoin to Celsius, to Nexo, to all the rest, right, to BlockFi and all the others. Hopefully, we get rid of the centralized lending model, and we are able to see Taproot unlock some of the benefits that DeFi already enjoys now. So I'd love to see that, yeah, these two pieces of the news cycle, those two pieces of news and press releases, that they actually dovetail in a meaningful way. That'd be amazing to see. So we'll see. Hopefully there are people out there that are incentivized and feel like it's their place in the developer space to build some of these on-ramps and off-ramps that help with some of the lockups, help with some of the decentralized lending and decentralized algorithmic stability and other, gosh, I guess, what is it? What am I looking for here? So yeah, algorithmic stablecoins and algorithmic stores of value, being able to lock things up in exchange for yield without it being centrally owned. Guys, we've been saying it for months. I'm not a fan of Coinbase, not a fan of Binance. I won't say anything bad about Kraken or Gemini or whatever else, but just saying I'm just not a big fan of letting go of your keys. So I don't know why we would let that be a thing that people in the Bitcoin community promote, right? Without, raising an eyebrow, like, huh? Really? I thought you were all about that cypherpunk life. Really? So DEXs, guys. DEXs are definitely the way to go. We got Crypto Mikkel in the chat, another great creator in our midst, guys. Barry Merritt is here as well. Coyote says, hello, GM. Nice. Appreciate that. T says, sounds good to me. And Ryan also says, Bitcoin script is like assembly language for cryptocurrency. Yeah, right. And the Bitcoin network, if we can make it, not assembly, but if we can make it some of the lowest level settlement layer that we work with moving forward, I think we're going to see that there's a lot more happening. Poor Investors in the chat says, hey. Also throws us a little dab emoji. Good to see great creators here, guys. Love seeing you guys. All right, so what have we got here? Making things better. The crypto space as a whole has seen a huge chunk of capital flowing into the ecosystem of late, thanks to greater adoption. We also saw with a recent Chainalysis report that more Ethereum, and I realize we were just talking about Bitcoin and singing its praises. Let's just talk about what the movement of Ethereum signals to the market. But more Ethereum has gone off exchange, off centralized exchange, and off of the order books than ever before. There will be a supply crunch in the near future. It's not a question of if, but when. Now, EIP 1559 and the whole burning action of EIP 1559, is that going to have as deleterious an effect? There we go, our $5 word for the day. Deleterious an effect on the coin supply of Ethereum as just people holding on to their ether. I don't think that EIP 1559 is the real story here. I think what's happening is people are waking up to the fact that governments all around the world are interested in potentially following Janet Yellen's suggestion of taxing unrealized gains. I mean, whether or not that's practical to put into policy, no, it's really, really not. Right? Like that makes sense. How can you possibly enforce a policy like that? However, it sounds good, doesn't it? And to certain politicians, to certain ivory tower folks, it sounds like a great idea. All these crypto people are getting rich. Why isn't the government getting its fair share? Well, they're unrealized gains, geniuses. So that's why you're not getting your fair share, because it's not really yours. It's not a fair share. They're unrealized gains. Why would we let them be taxed? It doesn't make any sense at all. Not according to any tax code anywhere in the world. So yeah, I think that people are catching on to the leanings of most political parties throughout the world and saying, you know what? I'm going to hang on to that crypto in my own wallet. Thank you very much. I'm going to have to go to my way to show that comment by Ryan. Definitely appreciate that. He says, Janet Yellen is a historical failure. I don't know exactly what that means, but I'm going to say I probably agree with it. I don't know exactly how you're interpreting that, but I think I probably agree with the sentiment there. But the monthly cryptocurrency value received by all exchanges is going down. It's going down. People are not comfortable with leaving their crypto on exchange. And that's why I'm so hopeful that the Taproot upgrade allows for people to begin enjoying yield or participating in some meaningful form of DeFi with Bitcoin natively. We'll see. I sincerely hope that's the case. Let's take a look at our chopstick chart, guys. Your chat is on the screen. Go ahead and submit your questions, obviously, as you're sharing this video and smashing that subscribe button. I mean, you can smash it, you can slap it, you can smack it a little bit. Just be gentle. You're going to need that button later. All right, so back to the chat, guys, and the current chopstick chart looks like we were off in our downward channel. There was a correction. MACD, we may see a convergence again on MACD, so we flip into bullishness potentially. Yeah, we're getting a little excited in the chat there, guys. This is mostly a dude show. We don't have that many ladies in the chat. Don't make it weird. They already have a hard enough time showing up to some of our live streams, so be on your best behavior. They're out there somewhere, I promise. The crypto ladies. We just can't scare them away by saying stuff like I just did. Good grief. Back to the chart though, guys. It looks like we're seeing MACD poised to flip bullish in the next little while. Perhaps not. I mean, we're seeing right now we're on a red candle at this moment, and we wicked up. Let's see, wicked all the way up to 66.4. Definitely seeing some calls for if we make it all the way up to 65K, that is supposed to be an extremely bullish indicator. I don't know if I believe that, but we've got something that appears to be something we can base our lines off of now, guys. Let's go ahead and just base our our chopstick lines off of our green candles. We'll go ahead and create a little, there we go. It looks like, nope. Looks like, yeah, no, the chopsticks are telling me, and this is, guys, it's science. You know what it isn't, though? Legal, financial, business, or investing advice. If you really want to learn how to do solid TA, go learn how to do solid TA. I'm not a technician. I'm not a certified financial advisor. None of this is meant to be anything that you take action on with your dollars, okay? Be very, very cautious. Do your own research. Don't get wrecked. But got the chopsticks in this little, in this wedge moving forward, indicating that, I mean, as things are right now, are we going to see potentially 60, what is that, 64.9, just below 65. There we go. I don't know. I don't know, but we're going to leave the chopsticks there for right now. Come back to those as we return to our chart later on. If we do flip bullish, then we could see this trend line continued here. If we do remain bearish, maybe we'll see this trend line continue here. I'm not going to set any kind of levels or anything or any kind of expectations in anyone's mind, guys. This is a show that's for your entertainment and education, primarily looking at other sources that inform why people are creating these green and red candles, not predicting whether or not we'll see more green and red candles. Does that make more sense? Hopefully I framed that pretty well. Let's see. Kai Oni says, in case bear market, possible exit strategies. Hey, that's a phenomenal question. Well, let's get to that as we look at our portfolio. We're going to do some additions live because we have so many meme coins that I've not been able to add into the portfolio. So let's quickly get through the rest of our content here. Take a look at DeFi Llama, see what our current TVL is across other exchanges and such. Double check to make sure. Yep, we got that locked in. So that's now published. DeFi Llama is showing us that, surprise, surprise, Ethereum is still in the lead for DeFi. That's right. Regardless of the Taproot upgrade, most people, when they hear DeFi, they don't think about Bitcoin. They think about Ethereum. They don't even really think about Ethereum. They think about all that value locked on Ethereum, if that makes sense. Ether itself, yes, the value is going up. People do find value in Ethereum, the network, right? Capital E Ethereum. People do find value in ETH, Ether, the token. But realistically, the thing that's popping that TVL up is not the core value of Ethereum. It's the almost 300 protocols that have committed to put their value onto Ethereum. This is the thing that currently, unfortunately, Bitcoin is lacking. We saw the Omni-layer protocol, a way to create, they're not ERC20 tokens, but they are just a sort of tokenization on top of Bitcoin. So the Omni-layer protocol bring $1.5 billion worth of tether onto Bitcoin years ago. Nobody uses it for the most part. Nobody really even seems to know that there's $1.5 billion worth of tether on Bitcoin natively. So unfortunately, TVL is one of those areas where Bitcoin is lagging behind others. Its native its native asset market cap is what gives it value. And there's nothing wrong with that at all. Nothing wrong with that one bit. In the future, if we do want to talk about Bitcoin as being DeFi, though, I think we need to see some of these on-ramps built with Taproot, so we have decreased friction and a greater ability to interface with other protocols. But taking a look at Ethereum, yes, it's still in the lead, but its market cap to TVL is still at a lower ratio than, say, Binance, right? Got more TVL locked in, but also a very high market cap for the native asset itself. We want to see a healthy balance between that, as well as the number of protocols that are supported. Solana still at only 33 protocols, Terra at only 10. Consider that with TVL, it's at $11.2 billion, but it's only got 10 different protocols, 10 other protocols locked on top. Tron as well is being sort of included here, but I'm seeing the highest use case for Tron be people doing very low cost transactions of Tether on top of Tron. Double. This is why people are using Tron, though, just so you're aware, is so they have very low fees and the ability to transfer really just, stable coins on top of a low fee network. It's highly centralized. I mean, I'm not the biggest fan. However, there have been people who've made significant amounts of money in their portfolio by betting on Tron. And I just wasn't one of those guys. I was like, nah, ideologically, you can miss me with that. Others made a killing, and now we can trade Tether on it, I guess. So it's got that going for it. Phantom has almost 70 protocols that are participating as well. And then Polygon with over 105. It's now at 110. Let's flip into the protocol view there, right? Protocol stacked ranking, and it tells a much clearer story. Somebody asked in the chat, let's double check to see who it was. We've got, let's see. So I apologize that I let it I'm lost in the chat stream. There's so many chats. You guys are out of control. I love it. We've got somebody asking about Phantom, and I apologize that I'm not seeing who it is. Corporal Crypto dropping some truth bombs saying taxation is theft anyways. Well, you know, you're not wrong, brother. You're not wrong. Jeremy De Jesus says, what do you think of Phantom? Well, I'll tell you, Jeremy De Jesus. Jeremy, what I think of Phantom is that right now, when we put protocols as the main criteria for this stacked ranking, Phantom is in number 4. It's the number 4 spot, and it's just barely ahead of Avalanche. Arbitrum, which is meant to be a proper L2 scaling solution for Ethereum, is behind Polygon, Phantom, Avalanche, and even Binance Smart Chain, right? All of these are ahead of Arbitrum, but Arbitrum is also ahead of Solana. It just has less TVL locked into its ecosystem, and its own market cap is not being measured as it's a protocol, not a coin. It doesn't have a governance coin. So Arbitrum, that's very, very promising in a way to see a divide by zero error, right? Or a divided zero error, because there's no market cap to speak of, right? It's just value. It's pure value locked into this protocol. So maybe don't bet against Arbitrum, but is Arbitrum really something you can bet on? No, you can't. Not in the same way. Avalanche, Phantom, Polygon, Binance, Solana, to a much lesser extent, Huobi, Echo Chain, they're all in the runnings as well, but with fewer protocols and with much lower TVL locked into those platforms. But Polygon and Phantom, you know, I've got to say, Phantom is winning me over. Avalanche is winning me over. Yes, there's relatively centralized ownership because of early VC selling, right? So there are VC backers in some of these ecosystems that own a significant percentage of the holdings, right? Or a significant portion of the initial minting of the token supply. So, I mean, you need to be cautious. You need to be aware of this. We've seen massive sell-offs in years past and in the previous bull run by ICOs and other various fundraisers within the cryptocurrency ecosystem. And so they can dump on us. We have to be very, very careful about who we choose to align with. But just looking at some of this data as such, right, at face value, we still see that protocols are important, right? Partnership matters too. And VCs are holding on till they can get that big payday. So we've got to be thinking about them. They're on the chessboard and they're on the opposite side from us, right? They can damage us, take some of our players off the board as well. But guys, that's our current DeFi Llama overview. Unfortunately, Bitcoin, while it's on this list, it's extremely low, number 45. There's one protocol listed right now and $211 million. Let's go ahead and pop this open to see exactly how DeFi Llama, how it shows that. Well, what it's showing is Lightning Network. I don't think that's totally honest, DeFi Llama. So if anybody is watching here, I think that we probably need to show the additional $1.5 billion worth of Tether that is printed on the Omni Layer protocol, and perhaps even show the Omni Layer protocol as a separate protocol that is being supported by Bitcoin. I think that would be a much more intellectually honest way of framing Bitcoin against other DeFi networks. And that's what I'd rather see. Just in a perfect world. You guys tell me in the chat, do you think we should make a stink? Do you think we should make some noise for DeFi Llama to perhaps add Omni Layer protocol? Yes, it's a little outdated. And add Rootstock? Yes, it's a little outdated. And add Stacks? Yes, it's not as relevant as Taproot. But do you think we should ask them to add those so that Bitcoin itself shows as the substrate network upon which all this other value is settled? I think we should. I think fair is fair. I think we want to see what Bitcoin actually does, because right now it's showing that it is a much lighter weight player in the DeFi space than it actually is, I think. So Bitcoin, Yankee asks, does it have a white paper? Bitcoin? No, it doesn't. It does not have a white paper. Moving on. Whattomine.com. I kid. It totally does, guys. As you know, we've got a reading. Oh my gosh. Yankee, I love your face, buddy. We actually do have a full reading of the Bitcoin white paper from start to finish in the voice of Morgan Freeman on this channel. So if you look for that in the content, you'll see the Bitcoin white paper read out loud. It doesn't take very long. It's only a few pages, but it's a lot of fun. So guys, we have over here on What to Mine our current profitability. We're going to jump into our stacked ranking overview and let's take a look. Starting with Team Green, we got the NVIDIA cards, starting with the 3090, top of the list at almost $9 of daily profit. ETH hash, killing it. Equilibria, on the stacked ranking. 3080, we've got ETH or Dagger Hashimoto and Zell Hash for ETH and Flux as the top earners. But Flux is quite a bit lower. Quite a bit lower. Coyote says, easy, mate. You what, mate? All right, so yeah, I'm joking. Yankees, one of the homies. We got Chump Change in the chat as well. Good to see you, Chump. We're trying to tag as many of the crypto mining fam in the descriptions of these videos as well. So I apologize while I build that up. It's going to build up as we go live more frequently, guys. Just expect to see me in your mentions. That's just how it's going to be. This is the new normal. Get used to it. So appreciate you guys being here. Got on the leaderboards, Equilibria, Flux. What else is showing up in leaderboards? Flux is the number one still for the 2080 Ti, ahead of Ethereum and NiceHash by a significant margin. I was not expecting to see that again, but there it is. Raven is ahead for the 3070 Ti. It's also on the leaderboard, but Flux, Equilibria, Ethereum, Raven, and to a lesser extent, Elaism. I don't normally expect to see Elaism on these rankings either, but there it is. Farther down the list, we see Conflux showing up for the 3060 LHR. For maybe some of the other LHR models as well, Conflux might be a good option for you. And then Ycash, which for me, I always ask, why mine Ycash? It's not Zcash. It's going to be a mine and dump, I'm pretty sure. Sorry. That's just my thought on the matter, guys. Got Swap down with the GTX 1060s showing some profit. But again, please do be responsible when it comes to smaller networks like Swap. It is a $500,000, not B, M, $500,000 market cap coin. So if you have a larger mining farm, you can do damage to networks like this by mining too heavily and dumping too much of the coin supply. You will be actively creating price suppression if you do that. So be careful, be mindful. If it's something you believe in, by all means, mine it. I'm not here to tell you what to do, but do be careful with networks like this. The developers have put in a lot of work, and you wind up throwing a lot of that work out the window from community members and developers when you treat networks that way. So be cautious, guys. Be mindful. There are always knock-on effects when we do this stuff. Zono, on the other hand, has a much higher market cap, and it continues to rise in profit. So if these older cards, GTX 1050 Ti, you might consider mining Zono. You might consider mining Flux. Obviously, that's up to you. But going to Team Red, let's see what is most profitable. Look at sort of the general leaderboard here. Also going to put in 14 cents per kilowatt hour for power. Didn't do that before. That's, I think, our better cost estimate for power across the entire United States. But we got the Radeon 7 showing Ethereum and Elaism. Good grief. Elaism showing up. Turning up like a bad penny all over the place. Got Equilibria, Flux, yeah boy, on the 6900 XT, which is showing decent profit there. Elaism showing up again. Firo with the Firo POW, or the Prog POW variant that it uses, also showing up in the leaderboard. And then Ergo showing up not where you'd expect it with the Radeon 7, but on the Vega 64 and the Vega 56. So still kind of an HBM queen, right? That Ergo algorithm, or the Autolycos algorithm, definitely prefers that high bandwidth memory, but not as profitable as Ethereum. Guys, I've got to just mention that you got Son of a Tech, who is a valued member of the GPU mining content creator community, who's doing a lot of Ergo-oriented content. He does that kind of stuff entirely free of charge. Guys, he's a phenomenal creator in the space to be supportive of. But he's got the Ergo Swap series, as well as, I guess, Ergo Dex. Is that what it is? Ergo Dex Swap? I'm not really following Ergo. That's my point. But he is. So if you want to know more about Ergo, he's a phenomenal source for that. Raven showing up on the leaderboard as well. Haven, yeah, boy. Haven killing it on the Polaris edition cards, the 8 gig Polaris cards. You're going to see it across both of these. I don't know why we even have that distinction here, guys. It's pretty much the exact same core. You can get the same performance out of them, but you got Haven on the leaderboard there. Yes, it's below profit compared to Ethereum, but Haven is on the rise. It is coming back with a vengeance. So watch out for Haven. Raven is there as well with Elaism again, Zono, and then what? Haven topping the chart for the R9 380. Man, that makes me happy in my heart. It just does, guys. It just does. You love seeing a comeback story. You love seeing an underdog story here in the cryptocurrency markets. And Haven has done it more than once. They've been hacked more than once with the arbitrage between their stable pegs and their algorithmic stable coins. They've been hacked more than once, but they're coming back with Haven 2.0. So very cool to see. Let's look at our mining profits for the portfolios. Total P&L we are still in the money on our GPU mining portfolio. Guys, pardon me also, I'm going to be taking a little bit of a sip of my sort of cold buster concoction here. Entire family is sick with a cold or a flu or something, and I've caught it as well. It's my turn, but I'm currently sipping on raw honey with organic apple cider vinegar in some water. It basically tastes like some kind of like apple juice mix or something with a little bit of an edge to it, but it helps keep the throat clear. Love that. My kids affectionately call it apple cider because it's not apple cider vinegar. I don't know why they call it that. It's not because it's not apple cider and it's not apple cider vinegar. It's somewhere in between. It tastes a little bit sweet, but it's sweetened with organic raw honey. Yeah, it is kind of fancy, but you know what? It beats sucking on like Zicam or whatever, any other kind of like throat lozenges all day. I'll take it. Stay hydrated. Stay feeling pretty good. You wouldn't otherwise know that I have a cold right now, right? You wouldn't guess? I mean, just saying. My wife is she's got it where it counts, boys. She's got it where it counts. All right, back into our GPU portfolio, guys. We got Flux at the very, very top. If you had put $1,000 into Flux, at the end of May, you'd currently have over $14,000. Look at those returns, over 1,000x returns in that same amount of time. Currently at a price of $2.33, kind of skidding downwards. Right, we're doing a little bit of a bounce downwards, but it did really race up to a new all-time high. I personally think that Flux does have more upside, and I've warned some of the GPU mining fam privately that who've talked about like, no way, man, Flux is going to $10. We need to be careful about that kind of the moon boy talk, because we're going to have larger whales, right? People who are following the bigger trading accounts who were alerted to Flux. Like, for example, when I went on BitBoy's channel and they asked me for a gem hunter pick, and I told them Flux was good. So we might have a little bit of price suppression because of larger entrance into markets like this. You got a market cap of $500 million. So you can have somebody come in with $1 million and not even own 1% of the coin supply. You see what I'm saying? And they can go in heavier than that and really wreck some things. So we're just in that awkward in-between phase where larger players, larger whales can create waves that hurt us. SafeCoin is that number 2 pick. Very bottom of the list, guys. We don't have, not our wrap Bitcoin representations, but BitTube. It is, it's hurting. Below a cent, half a penny right now. Mimblewimble coin in number 2 at almost 30% down. So bummer. Let's check to see where Haven is on our stacked rankings right now. It's finally back in the money, knocking on the door of $20 again. Almost back to its previous all-time high. You can see that chart where it's been doing price discovery, been coming back down to find resistance, a little bit of sell-off. People who are happy with their profits, right? They found their moon, jumped off, but then everybody else saying, nope, these are strong fundamentals. We're going to ride this thing all the way to the moon because we were at $24 before, and we can do even more than that this time around. Current market cap at over $250 million. You love to see it. Haven team, bravo. You guys are doing great. Keep up the good work. Moving from our GPU mining portfolio into hard drives, guys, we're going to see some of the stuff that we historically have not done super well on. This is now one of the worst sides of our portfolio. We're in the red across the entire portfolio. Storage, MadeSafe, and Sidecoin are all in the money, but only by a little bit compared to other coins. Chia is still 80% down, knocking on the door of $150 again. Guys, I sincerely hope that I don't cause anyone to dump when I make some of this commentary on Chia. I don't mean to speak negatively about it, but I'm going to urge you again, be very, very cautious about how you enter this project. If you already have hard drives plotted, obviously you do you, right? If you're making money, you don't have to listen to me, right? You've got proof for yourself. But if you aren't making money, right? Maybe reevaluate, figure out how you need to right size your portfolio and be very careful about what you leave your money in, winners or losers. All right, guys, CPUs. And I'm not telling you, don't lock in your losses either, right? By selling at a loss, but just be mindful. CPUs, the portfolio itself is up almost 1,000% because of Epic Cash and Raptorium. Good Lord. Look at that, guys. We've got 3 that are in the red, but we've got 4 that are in the black or in the hyperbolic green. Raptorium is one of them. If you'd put $1,000 into this project, you'd have $50K. My gosh. This is obscene. If you'd been able to carve out $1,000 to put into Raptorium in late May, you would have made the national median average for yearly income, for annual income. There are dudes out there who are like busting their butts on socket wrenches and swinging hammers who aren't earning as much as you just earned by passively leaving $1,000 in Raptorium from May till now. Bruh. That does not feel normal. It does not feel like reality, right? So, whew, that's an awesome run up, guys. This week has been particularly hyperbolic for Raptorium. And in fact, this price right now is after a little bit of correction. There was a peak that was higher than that we missed over the weekend, but you love to see it, guys. Good team doing good work. Still a market cap of only $50 million. What am I saying? We can go higher. It's possible. Yeah, we have the technology. We can rebuild. So, guys, that's our GPU or our CPU mining portfolio right there. ASIC mining portfolio, what do we got? Quickly, guys. Come on now, portfolio. You can do it. Go Mining Token still in the lead. Bitcoin, then Nervos Network. Go Mining Token just passively holding onto that as well would have yielded $3,000, about double what you'd have just by holding your Bitcoin. However, Bitcoin is not meant to strictly be a number go up scenario. It's also a store of value that protects you against tyranny, right? It's one of those really great bearer assets that you can hold on to like gold or silver. I really do believe that narrative. I really do think that that's one of the most important aspects of Bitcoin. So I hold some Bitcoin because of that. I don't hold it because I think it's going to go parabolic. If it does, cool. Pirate Chain, our biggest loser. Devault, a distant second, right? At only $500,000 as well. So we're struggling with market cap on the Devault project. Dogecoin it's still doing Dogecoin things at a quarter per coin. That's unbelievable to me, but Bitcoin is ahead of it. Moving from our ASIC portfolio to FPGAs, and what do we got here, guys? Cadena also ripping faces off, not even just melted anymore. It's correcting too, but it's still at over a 30x from when we put that $1,000 into the portfolio in May. That's awesome. $3 billion market cap here with Cadena. Hopefully there's more headroom in this particular bull run. Maybe there is. I'm not even going to pretend to understand what our potential targets could be for Cadena, but you tell me in the chat, do you think it's got greater upside? Do you think it can do a 3x? You think we can go from 3 billion to over 10 billion here, or close to 10 billion? Because in my mind, that's a psychological level that I think is totally possible. Crossing that $10 billion market cap, I think we'll start to ward some people off. And with the remaining time, however long that is, that we have in this bull run, I question whether or not that psychological level will hold, right? If we'll go past that or not. So you tell me in the chat, what do you think? Handshake, number 2, 0x Bitcoin, still in the money, unbelievably. And Mimic as well, back in the money. Everything else is in the red. Moving from FPGAs to proof-of-stake smart contract coins, or networks rather. And our stacked ranking is now flipped again. Solana, Terra, Phantom, Avalanche, Wax. Currently Solana in the lead, but only by a tiny bit ahead of Terra Luna. Phantom is no longer in the number 1 spot, but it's not out of the top 5. Same with Avalanche. And below those top 5, including Wax, which is great to see that really run up. Kudos to the homie, the bro Ken Bosak, who bet a lot on his Wax holdings, on his Wax NFT collection. I think that has really paid off for him. Proud of you, Ken. Glad things are going your way there. But guys, we got Wax in the number 5 spot, and we've been talking about it on this show as something that is a force to be reckoned with. With Wax, you've got Tops, you've got MLB, you've got so many other major publishers and players that have said, we're going to put our NFTs on Wax. That makes the most sense for us. So it's paying off, guys, for the people who stayed true to that. Harmony, then Cosmos. Cosmos, it looks like it had a pretty sharp dip along with everybody else, highly correlated to the other markets. But I don't think that Cosmos is done with its growth. At almost $10 billion, I mentioned before, that potential psychological barrier for larger investors. Once we punch through that, maybe we can start to see more along the lines of what Avalanche or Terra or Solana has. Maybe we can see some price discovery that pops it up into a 2 or a 3 or even a 5x. I don't know where it goes from here, but I think that Cosmos does go up. I think. You tell me if you think I'm off base there, but I think there's a good chance that it can go up. Internet Computer Protocol, still our biggest loser, 65% down. If you're still holding it, question your motives, question whether or not you can safely reallocate, whether or not you can safely right size your portfolio, because we've seen it just lose and lose and lose and not show signs of reversing. So be smart, guys. Stay safe. Let's see. Yankee says, okay, $1 million. Awesome. I can't disagree with that logic, Yankee. You've painted me into an intellectual corner. No, our junk drawer guy still shows Dogelon Mars in the lead, almost double the earnings of Shiba Inu for the same $1,000 put into the portfolio back in May. Hex is back on the rise, so over 20 cents, but not where it was before at its all-time high. Still, if you had any Hex that you put in your portfolio way back in May, you are in the money. That's the bottom line, that you are in the money. And if you've diversified into Hex, and maybe you're one of those who wants to do a long-term stake, you're in the money. That's the bottom line. You haven't lost anything. Moving down the list, guys, this is where we need to do a few additions to our portfolio. We've got so many coins that were not able to be added yet. Zion Network, UFO Gaming, Refinance, and the rest that you see from this point down. As of right now, our biggest loser looks like it's still QuickSwap and Dragon's Quick. That said, QuickSwap is a $390 coin, right? It's the unit bias is unfortunately very strong there. People who are taking a look at it are perhaps thinking, you know, I don't think I have $390 for just one coin. I'd like to find something that is a fraction of a penny, or like to find something that's $2, right? Like Pirate Chain, for example. So unfortunately, that unit bias creeps in big time with a lot of people's thinking. But when we look at the market cap, based on what it does and what it is, $140 million, let's compare that to Uniswap, which is at $11 billion. Well, which of these two actually settles more transactions? I'll give you a hint. It's not Uniswap. So that's why I'm keeping QuickSwap and Dragon's Quick on my radar. I'm very, very interested to see where it goes from there. All right, guys. Zion Network. Let's go ahead and pop this open. And while that's popping open, guys, I would love to see your questions come through in the chat. And I apologize, I still don't have anything like a, a teleprompter or something. So if I look off camera to check out your comments, I hope you don't feel like I'm ignoring you. I'm not ignoring you. I would never do that. All right, your questions. So I'm bringing these portfolio elements in, these portfolio entries in. Zion Network is going to come up first. And I've got Nomics, a tab of Nomics open just in case, but I don't think we need that for right now because I don't think we're doing any other fundamentals there. Checking out anything else. We'll look at creating an addition of Zion Network into our junk drawer right now. Jump back to May. This is how we do this, guys. If you're not familiar, if you haven't tuned into this side of the show before, we simply type in our starting date and we type in an additional date. So we kind of lock down the range. So that way CoinGecko can show us, oh my gosh, it went parabolic. Oh, just after May. Wow. Ryan is asking, have you staked Kava or used other Cosmos tokens? Yes, I have used Cosmos tokens. I have not staked Kava, but big shout out to some of the team over there. Really cool team, really cool network, really cool idea. So I've got to do a deeper dive on Kava. Last time that I looked at it, I was impressed, but no, I have not staked Kava. Especially shout out to Steve McGarry, guys. Hack Crypto. What a cool dude. He's been kind of more on top of that than I have. All right, we got 564201. Oh my gosh. So okay, so we did a 10x. Good grief. That's amazing. That's amazing. Alrighty, and there's proof of Linux. I've got KCalc popping up right now, guys. I have stayed on Garuda Linux for my main desktop, and I have gone to, oh, no. And I've gone to Manjaro Linux on my laptop. Ask me anything about Linux if you'd like as well, because I'm just a Linux-loving fool. For real, though, that's not right. No. 0.0056 does not go into 1,177 times. Meh, come on. Calculator, stop being a poo-poo head. There we go. How did it manage to get that? F. F in the chat for Seth and his 10 key skills. What's going on there, man? Jeez. Crypto Mikkel says, Pac-Man life is the life for me. Heck yeah. Ryan says, I'm on Ubuntu. LOL. That's all right, man. Ubuntu is, guys, I'm strong to believe. So we see Linus Tech Tips doing his daily driver challenge along with his teammate. And here's the thing. If Ubuntu is the right choice for you to get started and to get off of Windows comfortably, do it. Just do it. Just try it. If it's easier for you, try it for a while, get used to the commands, get used to the idea of doing manual updates, sudo apt-get update, and then sudo apt-get upgrade -y. Try those commands, right, on a regular daily basis, right? Start getting used to the idea of upgrading those things. Try to install some packages from the terminal like that. Just a few, right? Like, don't make it this crazy, crazy thing, but try it, okay? I think you're doing the right thing, Ryan. Start with Ubuntu, and then move to something else after you're comfortable, not using Windows most of the time. I'm pretty sure that after you get used to updating all the packages on your computer, that before long, it'll start to feel like, okay, using the update systems for Windows or even the update utilities for Mac OS or others, it's kind of painful by comparison. It really is. Like, I tried Windows out for a couple of days on my laptop. Guys, I was ready to like pull what's left of my hair out, like off my face. Like, ugh. It was so infuriating because Linux is just faster. As soon as you become accustomed to the workflow, it's just faster in so many ways. So anyway, not to get too nerdy there, too late, but yeah. Proof of Linux right here, guys. There we go. Now we got the quantity correct. Now we see that's exactly $1,000 for that entry. Jump back to May. It's gonna be May. How have I not made that joke the entire, it's a dad joke, whatever, guys, you knew it was coming, but I'm surprised it took me this long. Okay, putting that entry in for Zio Network. It's going to be pretty high on our leaderboard, actually. So ahead of Dojilon Mars. What? Guys, this is so great that we have this junk drawer here. Anonymous Miner is asking, MineYourBiz, what about Deeper Connect or Mysterium? Oh, you asked about that before, and I was not able to go so far down the rabbit hole that I knew enough, so I don't feel confident commenting on it here. And I don't want to say anything that sounds like I'm picking on a network that I don't understand, or that I'm picking winners and losers there. You guys will sometimes hear me speak very adamantly about certain coin networks that I'm a little more familiar with, right? Or especially when you hear things from those communities, like after doing literally the 1,000th live stream or the 1,000th public appearance, that they don't have a marketing team. Come on. We all know better. Every bit of public exposure is marketing. So yeah, kind of interesting. Guy Yell is saying, just got in here. Thoughts on ADA? It's been accumulating for a while. No, yeah, sure. Cardano has been accumulating for a while. There might be a reason for that in Cardano's case. Just going to throw that out there, guys. We don't have enough of the smart contracts running on Cardano, and their speed of execution is not high enough on Cardano to see really good transactional throughput. That's all I'm going to say about Cardano. Again, I don't want to come across as like a hater or whatever. I don't hate Cardano. I don't use it, first off, and I don't believe the founder promises because they keep on coming, right? It's like, you can only tell me that whatever, you're going to have 10,000 dApps running on your chain for so long before I look at the number of dApps that are actually running and start to feel like, well, that was an effing lie. I'm not going to listen to you anymore. That's just my take on it, guys. I hope that, like Ryan and like Guy are saying, I hope that the framework is good enough for developers to adopt it in the future. I just haven't seen it yet. So without like speaking too disparagingly, I struggle to take some of the claims seriously, because the founder has said so many times, like, we're going to have 10,000 dApps running this time next year. Cool. Show me 10,000 active wallets. Like, are 10,000 wallets actively using Cardano in any other way? Because if they're not, I don't believe there will be 10,000 dApps. Anyway, so let's throw this new transaction in for UFO gaming. I think this is going to be awesome, guys. Appreciate these questions too. Thanks so much for asking great questions. Thanks so much for having a great attitude about it as well. Considering that this is literally just one dude on YouTube talking about all kinds of cryptos, so any number of things can happen here, right? Like, oh, you know what? We've got a hard limit to the launch date. So it looks like June 29th was the earliest possible date for us to get a transaction in on this coin. So let's throw in June 30th. as our other date, and let's go to the earliest possible price. So if you got it launch day, earliest possible price is, oh, what is that? 6 zeros? Tell me. Why don't you tell me? Yep, six zeros, 70, 11, 67. Alrighty. Oh my gosh. 70, 11, 67. Wow. This is going to be amazing. It really is. This is going to be so much. Huge. It's going to be the best. 70, 11, 67. Oh my gosh. You get a bajillion coins. All right. So let's go back to June 29th. And let's see what that date or time was again. Looks like that was 3 p.m. is the time it's showing there. And we'll try to keep that as close to the launch time as we can. All right, so now we should have accurate historical data on that. And I think this is going to pretty much like smoke everything else, right? Underdog story, look at that. Oh my gosh. We got another 3,000% gainer, guys. Almost 4,000% gainer. Good Lord. Kai Oni is saying Sunday Swap is launching soon. Soon. ... I know, right? All this stuff is launching, especially when it comes to old bags that we've been holding forever that have been underwater for a while now. Everything is launching soon. It's amazing. How do they all know? They're all going to launch at the same time. Like, do they coordinate? Who decides what soon is? I don't know, but I'm in awe, guys. Shock and awe. It is so stunning and so bold for them to launch soon. All right. Refinance. Show us what you got. Refinance. Create an edition here, guys. I'm It's so unreal, guys. Looking at all these like brand new coins that are launching. So now we're looking into the past at stuff that like we did not have on our radar, and that I admitted it's like I don't know about these. So we're gonna get a bunch of FOMO here in the junk drawer by adding all this stuff that like started at like fractions of a fraction of a penny, and now is like whatever is close to the Doge Elon Mars price or something else or beyond, right? And is going to look like it has ridiculous ongoing returns. Guys, if you're watching this live, smash that like button, hit that subscribe button. Don't just lurk. It helps so much when you assist us in making this content discoverable to YouTube. We're nearly crossing the 13,000 subscriber mark as well. And when we get to 15,000 subscribers, we are doing yet another giveaway of a custom designed item. It could be a Raspberry Pi full node, Bitcoin full node case topper. It could be something else. What could it be? I don't know. We'll find out when we cross 15,000 subscribers, but your support is so appreciated, guys. Thank you for that. All right, we have other stuff coming in as well. I need my Call of Duty says, as soon as I dump, it will moon. Happens every time. Dude, right? So we're looking at all these like random little spec plays, these random little coins that are out in the corner of the cryptosphere. We got to check to see. What will actually make sense, because it could be that all the stuff that I'm listing right now is like, yeah, that makes no sense. Oh my. Nope, January 2021. Cool. This one we actually will get some historical data on the date that we want. So let's go back to May 26th. All right. And go back to May 27th. All right. Pardon me. May 26th at about, there we go, 5:17 p.m. Looks like we got 0, 32, 16, 198. Not as big a winner here, but that's okay. We can make it work. Clear that. Put in our $1,000. Put in our 0, 3, 2, 1, 6. Was it 198 or 189? It was 189. My mistake. Copy that. Throw it in for $1,000. Back to May 26th. 5:11-ish PM and add that to our portfolio, guys. All right, so that's going to be a little bit lower in the returns, but it's not going to be our lowest coin, right? It's going to be somewhere in the middle of the pack, actually ahead of a lot of the other ones. So yeah, refinance is ahead of Pancake Swap. You got that going for it. Not bad. Very, very interesting to see some of these additional speculative coins thrown into the portfolio, guys. Appreciate you being here live. Appreciate you hitting that subscribe button and liking the video as we go, as well as, yeah, sharing this while we're live. It's great to have more people in the chat live. Alrighty, Luffy Price. What do you got here? Currently, dang, that's set. My gosh, 8 zeros, 30.29. Let's see what we got. And we had a launch date of August. So our earliest purchase date is August 15th. Let's go back to August 15th to see what it shows us. Okay, launch price. Dang! Looks like 10.073. We're going to see some mad returns on this because it's a brand new launch coin that no one has discovered yet. Let's see. Yep, 10.073. Is that right? That's right. Okay. And yeah, Ryan, don't dump, just sell enough to buy GPUs and food. That's rad. Yeah, GPUs and ramen. Keep it. Don't get carried away here, man. Don't tell me to eat food. Go get some ramen, boy. Some chopsticks. You're gonna be fine. Cup of noodles. Just add an egg to that cup of noodles. You've got enough protein. Don't make it complicated, man. Don't make it weird. Okay. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 zeros. Wow. Yeah, I'm counting it out loud. Shut up. Copy. Oh my gosh. It can't even put the notation in. Guys, we can't even put in the quantity for $1,000. There might not have even been $1,000 of coin liquidity at that time. Was there even... no. Oh my gosh, there was. There was 100K in volume that day. So, but it would have been almost a 1% coin supply purchase at that time. Jeez. How are we even going to do? Guys, I don't even know how to notate this. I don't even know how to notate this. Come on, help me. Help me help you. Sheesh. How are we going to do this? I don't think I can. Yeah, I don't think I can. I think it is just, it's too many orders of magnitude large to even put the order in. Dudes. What am I gonna do? Yeah. Latrell says, can you elaborate on your issues with Raven? You were talking on BBT's live stream about some things Tron had said to you. Well, let me be very, very clear. Tron was publicly saying them on an interview that I published. So this was not a private thing, and I'm not talking about anything that is not public common knowledge. Just to be very, 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 very clear. I don't want to sound like I'm some kind of an insider or like I've got some special privileged relationship with Tron. I don't. And he doesn't owe me anything, and I don't owe him anything. That's the bottom line there. I don't owe Tron anything. I hold some Raven coin too. So I'm a little bit bitter about having not sold it at above 1,400 Satoshis. That's my mistake, right? It's nothing that the Raven coin team did, and there's nothing wrong fundamentally with Raven coin existing as an option, right? And building towards being an option. But there's not developer support. And at that time, there was a pretty strong sentiment that FPGAs were okay, right? That they said, oh, X16R, our hashing algorithm for Ravencoin, it might be adopted by FPGAs. Whatever, that's fine. We don't mind. There aren't that many FPGAs out there. Come on. Black Miner made sure, right? They made sure that there would be more FPGAs out there. So yes. Let's see. I need my Call of Duty says you need to pay the electric too. Bro, I mean, your neighbor has an outlet on the side of their house, right? It's public, right? It's in the public eye. I'm pretty sure it's the same rules as like, you know, as the FCC privacy rules. Just saying. Whatever. Get creative, man. Beg, borrow. Don't steal, but beg and borrow. Yeah, just saying. Crypto Mikkel says Black Miner ruined the market. Yeah, totally, right? Like FPGAs are easy to use now. They just are. They're way easier than ever. Guys, I think unfortunately with this coin, with Luffy, it's going to be too difficult to even calculate the amount of coins that we could buy. And I got to double check to make sure that we actually even have an amount of supply that matches what would have been there. Because it could be that that trading volume that day, that it exceeds the full coin supply, that there was some kind of wash trading on the initial launch day. So I don't know if I can make this work. Yeah, Guy Yell says, I know this is meme-ish, but thoughts on this particular project? Yeah, that's a great question, man. I don't know. Yeah, you notice I just showed your comment. Kestrel says, you need another calculator. I know, right? K-Calc, you have failed this live stream. I might have a different calculator, but for right now, guys, being able to show the notation correctly is a pretty big deal. Let me see if I do have a different calculator. I'm pretty sure I do. So this is for calculating simple sums. It's going to be a different app. Let's see if we get a slightly different result here. So I don't know that we're going to do that much better. Divided by... Oh, what the heck? It's only letting me... What the fudge? What are you doing? There we go. So it is notating that. There we go. Thank you. You are right. That's going to be a better option for us right now. Does that exceed the maximum supply? No, it doesn't, not by much, but you would have had to have purchased, it looks like, was that 4 decimal points there. You would have had to have purchased a significant portion of the available supply, but not quite a full percent. So, I mean, doable, right? It kind of makes sense. You're right. I need a different calculator. Thankfully, with Linux, I've always got a different option available. Isn't that amazing, guys? Wasn't I just like bragging about Linux just a second ago? Yes, I was. I'm going to go ahead and do my Windows snap there as well. And yeah, we're just going to... Can you snap and display? Come on, calculator. Here's the other thing, though. It's like, all right, it's all the customizability you need, except for when you really, really, really need it, because then it's like, ugh, I'm going to do my thing, my way. Thanks, Linux. Love you. You're the best. I mean that. 698, 630, 136, 986. All right, cool. Yeah, we got it. We got it. We are in like Flynn. And let's see, August 16th, 8 a.m. Oh, cool. That's pretty close to what it says the actual time is in Denver time. All right, Alex Burton is saying Windows Snap in Linux is like Thanos Snap. All the things go wonky. Yeah, I know, that's true. It doesn't do the corner pin like quadrants very well. Manjaro Linux, and I think they've got some kind of an add-on to the GNOME desktop that allows you to, as you add a specific way of doing it, as you add new applications, it will like cleanly snap new applications into their own little quadrant or little segment. And I don't have that, right? I'm not running GNOME here. I'm running Dragonized KDE on Garuda Linux. I know everybody else is like, you're so nerdy, you're so boring, why are you saying this? Yeah, don't worry about it, guys. Hey, I appreciate that we have so many viewers here right now, guys. Thank you so much for being subscribed, hitting that thumbs up button as well. If you haven't subscribed yet, stop lurking, be subscribed. We do Gem Hunter content on a regular basis, and right now we're adding some coins into a portfolio that the community told me we should add. So love taking your suggestions and then putting them into a portfolio so we can see how they perform over time, right? If we don't track this stuff, we don't really know. What's measured tends to be improved, right? So Luffy, now at the very top of our stacked ranking at over 4,000% returns. Yikes. Yeah, guys, some of these long shot plays, they're pretty amazing. They really are. It's a pretty amazing potential ROI on some of these projects. Now, is it kind of weird too? Like, yes, frankly, it is. It's kind of weird that we have so many meme tokens that's what we're primarily talking about. But at the same time, like, they do offer pretty significant returns if you're okay with it. Let's see. Oh, all right. Moving down the list of additional stuff. Yeah, sorry. What I meant to say was cruising down the street on my portfolio. SafeMoon Inu. Because why not? Why wouldn't we do it? Okay, SafeMoon Inu. Somebody requested SafeMoon Inu, and here we are today, working on it. Crypto Mikkel taking delivery of a CKB gold shell in 2 days. Nice. That's awesome, man. Yeah, guys, we talk about like, okay, we want to be ASIC resistant, and it's a great ideal. But man, when you look at some of those returns, it's hard. It's very, very hard to argue against ASICs. There are some ASICs that just make sense. Okay, launch price on this coin was 5 zeros, 432. Where are we at now? 4 zeros. Oh, snap. 5 zeros, 432. We're going to see some gains. Show us them gains. No. Oh, yeah, here we go. Did I crash my calculator? My calculator. It did it again. Dag nabbit. Poop. Yeah, I don't think we're able to do this right now, guys. I think there's just way too much going on at this point. So, Kestrel68 says, I need a few tips for moving Flux and Raptorium from Zelcore to Crypto.com, please. And Ryan says, you likely need to convert to Bitcoin, Litecoin, or your other favorite coin that both exchanges have used, using South Exchange or Trade Ogre. That's great advice there. Yeah, I think he's right. Yeah, we've hit the limitations of what this can even show at this point because of, yeah. That's not true though. We had a much smaller number before. How is it that we're not? There it is. Okay, thank you. Okay, weirdo. Stop being weird. 231, 481, 481. That's close enough. Yeah, that's granular enough that it still shows us $1,000, and it looks like our date was June 4th. Okay, so let's jump back into June 4th. Roughly what time? Make sure we have the correct tracker there. 5:20 a.m. 5:22 a.m. Denver time. Click submit, and I think we're going to see some pretty dope gains on this one as well. And what do we got? We got gains. Luffy, UFO Gaming, Zio Network are our new winners, right? In the poop coin lottery, guys. We're just destroying everything else. Apparently, being more obscure is what gets you more gains right now. But it bears cautioning. Without giving financial, legal, business, or investing advice, these are dangerous games. These are very, very, very dangerous games. These are the kinds of games that if you hodl too long, you get wrecked, right? You get wrecked, son. And if they go illiquid because there are no trading pairs, they're fake gains. They're paper gains. They're unrealizable, is what I'm saying. So be very, very cautious, right? If people don't want to buy these, even if they're a decentralized token, right? If people don't want to buy these, you didn't make any gains. So this paper tracker could be telling us dirty lies. Maybe not, though. Looks like UFO is currently almost at $1 billion market cap, which is great. Same with Zio Network. So I imagine that there actually is some kind of a market for these guys. I'm just throwing that out there just to urge caution, right? I mean, it would be totally irresponsible of me to list this kind of stuff without urging that kind of caution. You got to be so careful, right? Like, it looks really attractive and we think, oh my gosh, you know, it went to the moon, you know, rocket ship. We're going to do this. I'm going to, you know, 30x my portfolio every single time. You might not. I mean, you might 5x your portfolio, and then while you're trying to sell off your coins, see that after Ethereum fees, you got barely ahead. That happens to most people, right? They lag. They wait to sell till after the market is going down, and then it's illiquid. There's a run on that coin, and they get wrecked. Like, be careful. It's really that simple. Our emotions get the better of us most of the time. Still, we're going to add more to the junk drawer just because it's fun. All right, guys. And I appreciate that you guys gave me some suggestions here. Rug Zombie. That's funny. Rug Zombie, what you got for us? Add a transaction to Rug Zombie. See more questions coming in. Kai Oni says, I lost 300 Raven Coin Light. Ouch. That's harsh. Sorry, man. Rug Zombie is currently at 0.7 of a penny. That's not bad. And it's up, no less. Market cap is not known, and 24-hour trading volume is in the 5 digits, so that's better than not, I guess. Take a look to see when they launched. It looks like they're not even, they don't even have a launch date that's as far back as when we want to see, but we're going to just take a look as far back as we can. Yep. September. So we're going to go back to September. It looks like, oh, not too much lower than it is now. So 64, 40, 68. Divided by... All right. And let's go 155, 263. That's granular enough, but we can go deeper. We can do more. September 28th at 7 p.m. And we'll submit that. Looks like Zombie is in the portfolio now, and it's above water, right? It's treading water. It's in the green, right? It's ahead of Refinance, but below Ample Fourth, and it looks like it had some recent very positive price action. So 16% up, but it's not like the best possible return from the portfolio. Bone Shiba Swap, we'll take a look as well. Bone. TVL at hundreds of millions of dollars, 24-hour trading volume at billions. So there you go. Associated with Shiba Swap, so you know it's going to be juicy. Looks like, when did we actually have a launch? Come on now. Don't do that. Show me when you launch. Oh, it looks like we're going to have a net loser here, though. We can see from the chart alone, we're going to have a net loser because it dropped off a cliff. Totes dropped off a cliff. Launched at $4.29 on the 11th of July. Okay. Bummer. You hate to see it, but, you know, not every one of these projects is going to be a winner. Check to see what time it was. 2 a.m. Oh. Oop, I almost really messed up there. Okay, divided by 4, 29, 233, and 10 cents. All right, put that in, and it is going to be lower. Steven Samet is in the chat, says, I had like 69. Love it. Greetings, all. Nice. Appreciate those likes coming in, guys, and I apologize we're taking so long to get this side of the portfolio filled out, but I wanted to make sure that we had all this data done for our live stream so that you could see it. Floki Inu has migrated to a new smart contract, and it shows that right there, as well as the status, but it's still tracking it here. Looks like 0x43F11, 0x43F, ending in 066D, 066D. Likely the same smart contract. I mean, there could be some cruft in between that's not right, but that looks like it's about right. And see, Floki Inu as well. Change that range. Jump back. This is gonna be a face melter, guys. This one gonna break hearts. All right, what do we got there? 50111 is its launch price on the 28th of June. So Floki Inu, let's see what you got. Floki's gonna be destroying right now. Woo! Can you feel it? The electricity? Okay, 28th of June at what time again? 5 a.m. All right, 5 a.m. Show us. Ooh, all right, so you would be getting 900 million, 900,000, 900.900. Just cuz, why not? All right, we're going to add that to the portfolio. I think we may potentially have taken the top spot with Floki based on its launch price because that's all we could put in at the oldest possible date. Oh my gosh. Oh my gosh. 200x returns on Floki, guys. How? It doesn't seem right. Oof, it does not seem like that should be legal. I'm joking. It's totally legal. And I don't want to make that weird. It's legal. It's a decentralized market. You can choose to participate or not. Up to you. But if you didn't know about when this was launching, how would you know? Right? Like there'd be no way to even be aware of, you know, launch characteristics or whatever of a coin like this. Looks like also we've got a much lower launch price. Oh, June. So as close to that May figure as we possibly can get. Launch price 15th of June at 8 p.m. 15th of June, 8 p.m. Show us what you got, guys. Appreciate you being here live. I know that we're getting a little bit, taking a little bit longer than usual. Ryan says, maybe I should do more poop coining. Dude, right? Like, in a way, it's hard. It's hard not to think that when you look at portfolio entries like this. That said, it's also really hard to know what's actually going to take off in the meme coin space. It's really hard to be able to track all of them. And it's harder still. We've got dozens of entries here. It's harder still to allocate the funds to drop $1,000 into each one of these, right? So, so you do the math however you need to. Table napkin math. If you needed to allocate like whatever is the right price for you, $10. But imagine paying $10 on Ethereum for an Ethereum ERC20 token and then spending $80 on fees to get it, right? Kind of weird, right? Because what if it doesn't pay off that much? What if it's only a 10x? Because then you're going to pay fees and have it eat into your profit margin too. It's a very, very strange time, guys. Very strange time in cryptocurrency buying. Okay, what do we got there? Oh, can't even read it. That's 10 zeros and a 4. I think that's the maximum it can read out. So we currently got, wow. $10 zeros, 44. Oh my gosh. This is going to be another juicy one, guys. Hold on to your hats. This will be a lot of fun to watch. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 44. Boom. And it's got that nice round, yeah. 22, 7, 2, 7, 2, 7, 2, 7, 2, 7. Oh, 2, 7, 3. How? All right, we got to get the date in, so we're good right there. Submit that transaction. And again, we don't even know if there was that much coin at that time in the supply, but if there was, looks like Saitama Inu would also, it's taking a new #1 spot. You'd have $1.5 million. It's so dumb. It's so dumb. Like, can you even own that much of this coin? We got to go back and look, guys, right? Like, it's the 4 comma club. Do we even have 4 commas to buy up in a supply? 1, 2, 3, 4. We do. But you'd be looking at, 22 right there. That's your good grief. We got Ryan in the chat saying prayers, right? Like, oh my God, right? Yeah. This is all of our come unto Jesus moment when we're like, no, you don't understand. It's Bitcoin only. Generational wealth. It's the only way. Like, dude, we're looking at the numbers and there is enough liquidity in some of these coins. It's not a lie. The trackers show us that it's totally true that this could be the case. But again, to go back to that disclaimer, they could be straight up just paper gains that are illiquid, because when you try to sell or try to take some profits out of $1.5 million, everybody else makes a run on the coin, and before you're able to divest, your gains are flat, right? So we don't know. No one's tried it, right? It's the Doge problem, right? What happens when Elon Musk decides to tweet about it? You're sunk. Maybe not upside down on your gains, but yeah, it's just unbelievable, right? Unbelievably degen. All right, back down the list, guys. We got a couple more entries here. We got Kishu Inu. I'm almost afraid to add these last few, guys, because we're just gonna feel like we've wasted all of our time doing mining and stuff. Seriously, like you could spend the next 5 years mining, and no, not the next 5 years. Here's the thing: you could. Mining is one of those things that gives really great multiple returns as well, depending on how long you do it, how long you stick with it, and how smart you are. But you could mine for a year on moderate hardware, and not become a millionaire. But you can throw $1,000 into a piece of junk meme coin and become a millionaire in less than 4 months. No wonder all the Zoomers on TikTok are talking about this stuff, right? Like, you see gains like that, and it's like, yeah, I'm quitting college, or I'm taking my loans or something, and I'm going to go do degen plays all day with my loans. Not good advice, right? Not a good way forward. But I think I understand why they're thinking about it. Considering it, at least. So Kishu Inu is our next addition. Let's jump back and see what the Kishu Inu chart looks like. It also launched not that long ago, right? Only back in June. Like everything started to copycat at that point. We can just see from the chart right there, it's significantly lower. It might only be closer to like a 10 or 20x though, by comparison. So we've also got, there we go. That should be 9 zeros and 111. 9 zeros, 111 back on April. No, that's April. So we actually do have data from May. Okay, cool. Come on. Oh, all right. So it did go parabolic with the rest of the market. This will be more interesting, I think. This will be a lot more interesting because we've actually got that May 26th entry point right there. So late in the day on May 26th. There we go. Now we're looking at 8 zeros, 53.29. Hey, this is more interesting because we're back on level ground here, level playing field. Divided by 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. And that would give us 187 on a mother effing token. 652. 467. And that's our entry right there. Take a look again. This is going to be so much closer to level playing field. Makes me feel a lot better about what we're doing here. Seriously, I was starting to feel bad. Everything else just looked like this ridiculous, like just nonstop gainers up and up. Like, good grief. Yeah, Ryan says, I'm going to get that $1,000 from mining. 2 birds, 1 stone. Heck yeah. That's awesome, man. And then Akita Inu, hopefully it fares better than Kishu Inu, because Kishu Inu just is not going to be really high on the leaderboard, but it's still like not as bad as some of our older holdings. So Akita Inu looks like it probably launched at around the same time, March, April, May. Cool. We're going to have some good data back in May to pull for this as well. And also looks like it was on the downswing. There we go. Actually, it looks like it may have come back up after that date. May 26th. Oh, come on. Why you got to do that? May 26th and the PM. Come on, show us the PM. 5:30. Looks like it is 50272. So we did see some gains on this one. It's just not as high as the other ones. Saw some gains, saw dim gains. Go back to May and take a look at 26th. 5 p.m. divided by and see our final output. Good enough right there. All right, so submit. And it looks like all of our entries are good in the sort of junk drawer degen side of the portfolio. We've got QuickSwap still as our biggest loser right now, 60% down. But again, I think we've got a bit of unit bias going on right there. That could possibly be fixed by that team. We'll see if any announcements come out of there. But Bone is below Sushi. What else did we just add? Kishu Inu is below Thorchain. Refinance and Akita Inu are below Ampleforth. So Akita Inu is in the money. It's just not very high in the game, the leaderboard. So Rug Zombie as well is also below our typical entrants, DYDX, Serum, Hyperburn, Hex, Shiba Inu. But all these other entrants came in above Shiba Inu. Safe Moon Inu at 700%, right? So getting almost over $8,500 for that initial $1,000. Doji on Mars is coming in almost 10, but Zion Network punches it in the face. UFO Gaming punches that in the face. Luffy punches that in the face. Floki Inu kicks that in the groin. Saitama Inu literally one punches all of them, and they vaporize because for $1,000 investment when it first launched, you have over $1.6 million of fiat value right now. Wow, guys. So I'm gonna get back to the drawing board. I'm gonna get back to the grindstone, find some more gems, some more less discovered gems, and see if maybe this market can keep on giving. Guys, it's not legal financial or business advice. This is just for kicks, education, and entertainment purposes. We're trying to make sure that we make the best possible choices as miners, right? Providing real value to real networks that will maintain their value past this bull run. But man, 'tis the season. 'Tis the season to pay attention to smaller projects. I really think that's the case, guys. Definitely appreciate you being tuned in all the way to the very end of the video. We're going to call this the very end of today's live stream, guys. Appreciate you being subscribed if you're not already. Every button you click from down below helps, including the links to the sources that we reviewed today on Bitcoin Taproot, one of the strongest of fundamentals, right, of any crypto project. Don't be fooled by all this other stuff, the glitz and the glam. This stuff is really flashy. It looks really good. Saitama Inu looks amazing on paper. But if you asked me whether or not I'd like to have $1 million worth of Saitama Inu right now or $1 million worth of Bitcoin, really? I think you know what my answer would be. Love your face. Remember to stay private and mind your biz. Thanks for watching to the end of the video. Be sure to check out mineyour.biz, where you can sign up for our email newsletter, where we're still ramping up content, but you will occasionally receive specials for flash sales and all kinds of other deals that we have going on the site. You can also check out our services page, where we offer consulting to projects that need it. You can pick up the Freedom Phone, which respects your privacy. You can pay for it in crypto and have it shipped to you anonymously, as well as getting merchandise that also is paid for with crypto. That's right, we practice what we preach, including, well, a Flux swag page. That's right. It's a dedicated page just for the team over at Flux Network, because we love them that much. Thanks for watching to the end. Thanks for being subscribed. You know I love your face. Be sure to stay private and mind your biz.